Hello, everyone, and welcome to the web series on the Ocean Science Policy Interface. The United Nations is expected to launch its second World Ocean Assessment in early 2021. This assessment is the result of a collaboration between hundreds of experts from around the world. It is the only assessment of the world's ocean that integrates knowledge along all three pillars of sustainable development: environmental, economic, and social. In this series, we will reflect the importance of strengthening the science policy interface through such efforts in supporting the sustainable development of the ocean. Today, I have the pleasure of being joined by Professor Peter Haugan, who is the co-chair of the expert group of the High-Level Panel for Sustainable Ocean Economy and former chair of the IOC at UNESCO. In these unprecedented times and challenges, we're reminded of the importance of the ocean for us all. It is more important now than ever to reflect on where we are, what we are facing, and what we need for achieving a sustainable relationship between us and the ocean. Peter, you have more than 30 years of experience in the marine scientific research. Recently, you worked a lot on sustainable ocean economy. From a scientific perspective, what do we know about the human connection to the ocean, and what do we not know?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much for that question. You said we are in unprecedented times, and that's true. I mean, we have some of us feel that we have a strong connection with the ocean. People are interested in the ocean, but there are also people who stand with their back to the ocean. Many people do. Don't really realize how important the ocean is. The ocean is important for our economy. It's important for transportation. 90% of global transport goes across the ocean. We have seafood being produced by wild fish and aquaculture. And we have energy from the ocean. And while renewable energy from the ocean today is relatively limited, it has a huge potential. So when we talk about our relationship with the ocean, it's very important to coastal population. It's very important to some who are aware of the situation in the ocean. But many people don't really appreciate how important the ocean actually is and what potential it holds for us in the future. I used to say we are land animals. It's much easier for us to understand, if you have polluted air, how animals are affected by that. But to understand how animals in the ocean, they are actually much tighter to their environment. They are much more affected by it. And if we don't care for the ocean, we will not be able to harness its richness and will not be able to, have benefit from all of the ecosystem services that it actually provides, soaking up carbon, helping us, coastal protection, and all of these aspects which are really important.
Even giving us every other breath that we take.
Even so.
It's something that I know my family has struggled to do for many generations, is connect the average person with the understanding that the ocean is our life support system. At this time in the global pandemic, we should not forget how important the ocean is to our health. The ocean is a Pandora's box of secrets, and it can affect our health in many ways, both negative and positive. It can also provide us with the solutions to our health problems. For example, in the ocean, there are already great promises of development of pharmaceuticals and natural products that will help cure diseases and improve the quality of human life. Look at cancer treatments or pain mitigators, and the list can go on if we start tapping into this richness. My concern, of course, is to do it in a way that is respecting the ocean, as well as the needs for human society. Peter, can you comment a little bit on that role that the ocean has for us, and what secrets may lie in the benefits that we could attain from it?
Yeah, very recently we have studied about investment in the ocean. I mean, investment in coastal protection and investment in new industries like renewable energy from the ocean. And if you look into that, you see that this is actually also very profitable. It's not only that it's something we have to do to protect the ocean from our activities, but it's actually possible to harvest more from the ocean of the things that we need, all the way from pharmaceuticals to food and energy. And so while the COVID pandemic that we are experiencing now is, of course, a tragic situation, when we want to rebuild after that, we shouldn't build back the unsustainable activities that we've been doing in the past. We actually have an opportunity to invest in the new types of the ocean economy, which are actually quite promising to solve our bigger problems. So the ocean holds promises for the future. It's really something that we need. We need it. We need to protect it effectively. We need to produce sustainably from the ocean, and we need to make sure that we in an equitable way share the prosperity that we can get from the ocean. And prosperity here meaning many different things, not only monetary wise. And I think that we've seen very clearly that if we don't do the unsustainable activities, if we don't invest in the kind of unsustainable practices that we've had in the past, but if we do invest in coastal protection, if we do invest in the right forms of food production from the ocean, this is going to pay off. It gives environmental benefits, it gives monetary benefits, it gives jobs, it gives well-being, it gives all the things that we need for the population, and not only the coastal population. This is crucial for the world as a whole. So this is an opportunity where I know that there's investors are ready to look for what to do after the pandemic, and going for sustainable ocean business is actually going to help all of us. So let's go that direction.
Yeah, no healthy ocean, there's no such thing as a healthy future. That's how interconnected it is. We are so deeply connected with the ocean on so many aspects that our future is deeply connected with the future of the ocean. Sustainable ocean development is critical for achieving all of the SDGs. I'm hard pressed to think of one of the other SDGs that isn't interdependent on SDG 14, which is Sustainable Development Goal 14, or life underwater. It's pretty clear that we need to achieve a sustainable ocean development in order to achieve a sustainable development for humanity. This cannot be done without a deep understanding of the ocean, as well as how human activities affect the ocean. Can you share some of your views on why strengthening the ocean science policy interface is so important in this regard? What are the roles of global mechanisms such as the United Nations regular process and its World Ocean Assessments?
The ocean, it consists of exclusive economic zones that the nations can decide upon, and then we have the biggest portion, which is actually the international waters, the areas beyond national jurisdiction, as it's called. And we talk about the complexities of dealing with the ocean and treating it in a correct way. Of course, the more players, the more difficult it becomes. But it's also even then more important than anywhere else that we actually share the information that we have, that everybody can get to the table and have the same information, that scientists work together across boundaries, that we bring up this information so that the different stakeholders don't try to run away and cheat or treat the others in a bad way. So the role of science here is really crucial, and the way in which policymakers use science is crucial. We need to make sure that there is a culture of asking science about the issues, bringing up the information and sharing it. And of course, it's very difficult in the ocean because there's so much we don't know, but we still have to make these management and policy decisions all the time. So we always have to work from the best possible evidence that's out there, and we have to make sure that we use the UN system on the global scales, but we also use other mechanisms to try out better ways of dealing with the ocean in a sustainable fashion, like this high-level panel for a sustainable ocean economy is trying, and they are really, really keen on asking for scientific information to guide their sustainable ocean economy plans, which is something we should do not only for the exclusive economic zones, but also for the international waters. So I think we have an opportunity now, moving into the decade of ocean science for sustainable development also, to give a new emphasis and pressure on how we use science in this ocean policy development. I'm really optimistic actually right now, much more than I was 5 years ago.
Well, that's really good of you to say, because I'm a hopeful person, a hopeful realist, and I'm glad to see that experts such as yourself actually have a positive outlook in this day and age, especially with regard to a subject matter like ocean. We've explored less than 5% of our ocean world to date, and yet we've seen a lot of the repercussions of poor ocean management, but we've also seen the light of hope and optimism, and possibilities with regard to innovation, with regard to new technologies, with regard to new information, thanks to the advent of pushing science through the ocean and coming back with that knowledge that is the base for policymaking. Is there anything that you may want to add that we haven't covered today?
There's a lot you would like to cover, but I think we've sort of captured the essential spirit here of the human relation with the ocean, and the fact that we have to, I think, not only treat science to policy directly, but we have to talk to the people as a whole. We need to create a movement, not only in the closed circles between science experts and policymakers, but we need to get the public along, and also people in landlocked countries, not only the coastal dwellers. And I think there the efforts in ocean literacy and in trying to make sure that everybody understands more of the ocean is the crucial way that we always have to think about, not only what goes on in the decision-making bodies and corners of meeting rooms where the formal decisions are made.
It brings me to something my grandfather used to tell me when I was a child, which is people protect what they love what they understand, and they understand what they're taught. It's an age-old thought process, but one that I think will really guide us, thanks to your leadership and others in your circle, to making better decisions so that we can have that sustainable ocean policy interface. And with that, I want to thank you all. I want to thank Peter for joining me, and join us next time when we tackle challenges and solutions. Thank you all very much.